All right, hey, welcome back. Um, so what I'm gonna do on this segment, we're gonna talk about my first astral experience. We'll do like a part one, part two, part three. Um, so first, start off with just kind of background of who I am as a person. Um, my whole life, I've always been kind of a dreamer. I remember a lot of my dreams. Certain dreams, fighting demons, you know, predicting future, getting ideas, and then a lot of vivid dreams, lucid dreams here and there, just randomly throughout my life. So then a year ago, I started getting into these audio tapes from the Monroe Robert Monroe Institute, and it's a series of audio tapes that you had to kind of like listen to, um, you know, on a weekly basis, and kind of like in segments. So just kind of like a history of what I did to kind of prepare um, to get to that level. Um, the first one was it's a uh, decalcifying your pineal gland. Um, and there's 5 audio tapes that I could listen to like on a weekly basis. Yeah, decalcifying your pineal gland. Pineal gland, that's pretty much like something inside the brain, like a little area of the brain that that kind of triggers high-end intuition, consciousness, alertness. It's like what people call like your third eye. Um, so I had to listen to those frequencies, for a couple of weeks, and then it went into the meditation gateway. There's 13 audio tapes of that, where you kind of helping with breathing, relaxation. It's kind of like meditation. So there's 13 of those audio tapes, between 30 minutes to 45 minutes each, as you're sleeping throughout the day, to kind of just like meditating, um, you know, having it come into your subconscious. These sounds, these frequencies. Um, it's kind of like theta waves, which is pretty much 3.5 to 7.5 hertz of sound frequencies. So when you're sleeping or meditating, these sounds go into your subconscious, and you get to like a certain level of consciousness, where you can kind of like travel into these realms. Um, then after the meditation, we did the project gateway, which is like 1 through 7 audio tapes, and then I did unleashing your power center, where pretty much like chakras, 1 through 7 audio tapes. So I did this for about a year, and then when I first did it, the first 3 weeks, I started lucid dreaming, and I started kind of feeling a difference. In the dream, I kind of saw myself light up, like glow, and I noticed the difference. I felt like really powerful, and that's when I knew it was starting to work, because it was a different feeling of power and control inside the dream itself. And then I would have like random dreams where I was like kind of like a training facility. It seemed like it was like in the desert somewhere in Mexico. I'm not sure. And there's people kind of just like sitting there, with their eyes closed, and they're like kind of like meditating, like they're practicing projecting, astral projecting. But specifically, when I was in this training facility, I was learning how to fly. So there was a guy there, and he was just saying, in your mind, just think it, when you're in the dream, just think, lift up and fly. And so all I had to do is with my mind just think of flying, and I was actually doing it, because it felt so real. So I felt like I was in the physical world, but it was actually in a dream world, or in an astral plane. So I was going through these new experiences and dreams, and then one of the last audio um, files that I had was one actually called astral projection, which is only about maybe 35 minutes of just sound frequencies that you listen to while you're sleeping. But nothing was really happening. I wasn't really feeling that, the level where you're actually leaving your body and all that. So I was looking stuff up on YouTube, and different, resources on TikTok, and different tips and tricks that you can do. And there's one where they told you to kind of put an alarm to wake yourself up like around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. But of course, you go to sleep a little bit earlier, 9:30, 10. And so when you wake up, you go back to sleep because you're still kind of like a little bit tired, but you're still kind of a little bit awake. And then so I did that, for a couple of days where I wake up at 12:30, go back to bed, and lay back down. But when I laid back down, I started playing that little astral projection audio, and that's when it finally happened. So when I go back to sleep, deep sleep, lights off, no noise, no distractions, no TV, nothing. And as you're back to sleep, you kind of feel kind of like a vibration because of the frequency sound, a little bit of vibration, and you kind of know when you're because your mind's up, kind of like your eyes are up in your mind, but your body's told it that you kind of trick your body that you're asleep. And then all of a sudden, I say, I'm gonna try something because I already kind of started feeling like the vibrations and like it started feeling a little different. And I started to move my body to where I was facing my pillow. And then so when I felt that my spirit was actually moving on the pillow, I said, well, let me try something else and maybe pull away. And so as I pulled away, I end up my bed's kind of next to the wall. I was outside. And then so what now that my spirit's outside, I kind of like opened up my eyes like in that realm and I can now I'm outside, I'm walking around and it looks like it's like dusk, like it's like at 5 a.m., kind of grayish. And I open up the front gate, and you can kind of hear like an echo, as the gate closes, you know. So it's like, where am I gonna go? So I said, I'm gonna go next door. I'm gonna walk next door, and then I go to the neighbor's house, and I kind of just like walk right through their front door into like the living room. And when I'm in there, I see like a little boy come out, and I kind of got scared, like, oh shit, there's people in here. So I just kind of left, and then I decided, I'm gonna start flying now. So I made myself fly, and I'm starting to fly, and I said, okay, how do I fly faster? And I remember in the training just to kind of think it, so I just thought fly faster, and I started going, faster. And then I got scared because I'm like, okay, how long am I gonna be in this realm? Am I gonna be able to go back? Like, where do I go? So I kind of like stopped, and I just made myself get out of that realm. And then when I made myself think like I could get out, go back, I went into like another dream, and that dream is very limited, kind of lucid, but not too much. Like not the same feeling I had when I felt like I was in the astral um, realm. So that was the first experience I had, and like I said, when I woke up, I felt great. I felt like I had so much energy, and it was like the best experience I've ever had ever because I specifically knew what I was doing, and I had made myself pull out my body, and I was walking outside, so it was like in real time. It's not like I just showed up in a certain dream. You only remember certain parts. Every second of my actions were from my mind and from my first person, and that's why I knew it was a different feeling. So that's it for now. That's my first experience. I'm gonna, do a part two, part three with my other experiences, and then get more in depth if you guys have questions on how to prepare and how I got there, and things you can do now to get yourself to that level of consciousness and of training. So like, share, comment, and then we'll see you in the next one.